A lie is always a horrible thing, but we've all told them.
Breaking news, Empire actor Jussie Smollett assaulted in Chicago and police investigating it as a possible crime.
When you first heard it, you were like, oh no, this can't be true. Something didn't feel right. Make it make sense. It wasn't just the inconsistencies of the story. It was I'm sticking to the story. I'm sticking to every incident in the story, and I'm not moving off of it.
Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. And guess what? We have two guests joining us today. We have Ola and Bolo Osundario brothers. These are the brothers that were a part of the Jussie Smollett hoax. Please take a moment and welcome Ola and Bolo Osundario.
What's going on? Can you please say his name better? Hello. You said Bolo.
Oh, no, I did not. I said Bola. Ola and Bola. Get out of here. Don't make me come through this screen, brother. You know, we're not going to do that in my courtroom today. Anyway, what's going on? I hear one of you are just back in the country. Which one went out of the country, and what mission were you on this time, Bola?
Bola, yeah. And it's Bola Osundario. So I went to Tenerife, the Canary Islands, for a business seminar with my business mentor, Peter Sage. And it was
okay. How was it?
Oh, it was wonderful. The Canary Islands is a wonderful place. It's part of Spain. However, it's outside of Morocco. It's an island or a group of countries or land masses outside
Islands,
of Morocco. Yeah.
Is Ibiza out there? Ibiza is off the coast of Spain, no?
Yes,
I don't know.
it is. So, yeah. It is, but that's like actually right.
A different direction.
Yeah, it's north of the Canary Islands.
All right, now Bola,
yeah.
you actually are a professional boxer, and you're on a professional boxing team. Tell me which team you're on, and what league do you participate in?
I am on the Dallas Enforcers, and I participate in Team Combat League. It's the first of its kind where it's a co-ed sport. Women and men are on the same team, and also it's in its second season. Well, the second season just concluded. We're going into the third season, and I will be on the Dallas Enforcers again.
Oh, so you're going to be back at Dallas again. What made you choose Dallas? Why you don't want to come? You don't want to come to Los Angeles or Atlanta or one of the other teams? Who won this year?
Who won? Philly won. Okay. Unfortunately, we didn't win. However, I would love to be on the LA team. However, I am loyal. Dallas got me. And, Dallas has a very good support for their teams.
Their team.
Yes.
All right. Now, how did you do in the league all around?
I did very well. I went out with a bang. I was invited to the All-Star fight. I was on the world team, and we did very well.
Okay, very good. What was your record? Did very well. I need some numbers.
Well, so I'm not sure about my record. I have to go.
You're not sure.
So how you don't know your record? You do know that you are in the court of public opinion, so you know you cannot lie, right?
No, I'm not lying. No, the thing is, it's a different.
Okay, now how are you gonna be a professional wrestler and not know your record, sir?
Okay, so our record was
no, your record.
Oh, my record. So I'm like, I can't remember. I have to go. So we have a lot of fights. It's one round, and
Did you win the fights or did you lose the fights?
I won more than I lost.
Okay,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Good. All right,
yeah.
Just move on from you. You're doing too much. Ola, bring us up to speed with your life. What's going on? I see you're always, hard in the gym, and you also have this series that you do on Instagram. Bring us up to speed. What's going on with you these days?
Oh, what is going on with me? Currently, I'm just coaching. I'm doing a lot of fitness and lifestyle coaching. Have a lot of clients that are doing very well, changing lives day by day.
So you're big in like taking your physical training, which is kind of what you guys were hired to do with Jussie, correct? Like you're doing more personal training these days. Now, are you still boxing? Because at one time you were doing a lot of boxing.
Yeah, I'm still boxing. I'm actually planning on fighting next month in something called the Power Gloves here in Chicago.
Oh, very nice. So you guys are located in Chicago?
Yeah, for the most part.
Part time.
Yeah.
I move around. I bounce around. I'm in Dallas sometimes. Sometimes I'm in LA. Sometimes I'm in West Africa. It just depends.
Okay, got it. All right, guys, let's just jump on into this. One thing that I wanted to know is kind of like how how has your life been since everything went public, and what changes have you had to make like in your daily lives? Are things different for you guys now? Do people recognize you? I think that's one question that everybody always asks, right? Once you become famous, does your life has your life have to change in any way? And what's different, Ola, that you used to do but can't do no more actually?
So when it comes to, and I don't want to call it fame, but being known, you just have to move differently. It comes with its positives and its negatives. There's people that like us, and there's people that don't like us, and people will tend to show you that if they do or don't like you. But I don't know. I feel like I've seen more positive when it comes to how this whole situation has affected our um, lives per se.
Got it. How about you, Bolo?
Yeah, life has been beautiful. I cannot come. I couldn't ask for a different life. It's been great. Like he said, people are negative or positive, but that comes. It's always been like that. However, it's on more of a scale, higher to a higher level because we're more known. But I
Right.
would say overall, it's been great. Life has been great. We've had
I don't believe that. I don't think life's been great. Life has got definitely have had some challenges. I can tell you I've been in the media for the last 20 years and in a negative slant. And even though we want to say that we won't change anything about our lives, we could take a little bit of that heat that we get, especially from people who don't know us, who's always passing judgment on us. Life is good, but it's not great. You know what I mean? It could be different. So I don't see you
Life,
guys were a part
life
of
is
one of the
great.
largest. You guys were a part of one of the largest hoax that exists in the 21st century. And it was in such a negative way. You can't tell me that life is great. Like, give me the skinny. What is life really like?
You're right.
Is it life is great that now that you're more well known, you're able to move and do more stuff. But you can't tell me life is great because everybody out here is not feeling you, right? Just the same way everybody out here is not feeling me. And they don't even know me, but they're not feeling me, and they have such strong opinions about me without even knowing me. And I know my stuff happened 20 years ago. I know yours just happened a few years ago. One of the largest hoax in history. You can't tell me everybody's out here showing you love everywhere you go.
You're
So what's the truth here?
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Al. I got to give you that. Life isn't completely great. Life is actually
Right,
amazing. Life is actually amazing. You got look, Al. This is life. Life is always going to come with challenges. It doesn't matter
right,
if we went through what we went through or we didn't. There's going to be challenges. Period.
right,
So it depends on you as the individual how you take things. And
right.
my brother and I are living on a certain plane of life where we don't allow the outside to affect the inside. We
Got it. Oh, I like that. I like that.
we
All right,
allow the inside to navigate
create
the
reality.
to
Yeah.
navigate the outside.
all right. I like that. Okay, okay. So life is great. So tell me this: has it affected your family in any way? Because one thing I know in learning and meeting you guys and hanging out with you guys is that you guys have a very close knit family, and especially your mother. Your mother was like the first call you made, right? How has this hoax? How has been a part of this hoax, participating in this hoax? How has that affected your family and especially your mother?
I would say that it has affected us in a way that it brought us closer together, definitely as a
Mm,
family. Um, I'm able to now tell my mother more things that I wasn't able to talk to her about before, and now we are. Same thing with my father. It's brought us close. You know, my father and
Oh,
mother are still together. My dad just lives in Nigeria. My mother travels back and forth. But I would say it definitely has brought us together closer.
oh, nice. All right, so there's one myth out here, guys, that you are not real U.S. citizens. That you from Nigeria, you're Nigerian, and you just live in Chicago. Tell us about. Tell us about. Are you U.S. citizens? Tell us a little bit about your life in Chicago. How long have you been in Chicago? You say you live with your mom in Chicago. Your dad lives in Nigeria. So, are you U.S. citizens? Could you be deported if you did a criminal crime and got convicted? Tell us about that.
Honestly, I'm more American than whoever's watching this right now. I couldn't be no less American. We can't get deported. We are U.S. citizens. We're not naturalized. We're U.S. born citizens. I know that was a big misconception that we were Nigerian.
First of all, look at our accents. Do we sound like immigrants?
Yeah,
Like, come on, use your common sense.
yeah, that's true.
Jesus.
But people had the perception that we sounded like, "Hey, what are you doing there?" They thought we sounded like that, but that's not how we sounded. We could code switch, of course, because we've lived in Nigeria before in West Africa. However, no, we sound like this, and we're American citizens.
On the regular.
We grew up in Chicago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
We have two younger sisters and one other older brother.
So, who's the oldest of the two of you?
The pretty one.
The uglier one. I'm the more handsome one is the
Pretty
younger
one.
brother. You know, that's how it
The
goes.
pretty one's the older one.
You know,
So, who's the smartest of the two?
I'll have to say he is. I'll give it to him.
I wouldn't say that. I'm not.
I'll give him the brains, but I'm the looks.
You got the beauty.
he gives.
All right, guys, let's jump right into this. Let's talk about the Smollett incident because you're here in the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
And in the court of public opinion, we always want to examine situations that are interesting, that are related to obviously celebrities and relates to their legal troubles that they have. Now, the reason why we're still talking about this 5 years later is because Jussie Smollett has decided to relentlessly stick to the story that he did not do this, that in fact he's innocent. He recently has come out and said that he has spent $3 million in order to make sure that he gets out of this without being charged with a felony. In addition, he says he admits that he may have helped purchase certain items. May have had certain conversations, but at the end of the day, he did not commit this hoax. All right. So, in order for us to really dive deep into this, because for me, to spend $3 million versus spending when he was found guilty in court paying $25,000, it just seems to me that there's some type of confusion. I think if the correct word is confusion, I don't know, disconnect, confusion as to why a person will hold on to this so hard, considering what he has been found guilty. Now, you guys are part of that entire trial. You were a part of the entire court proceedings. So this is what I want to ask first. Let's go back to the first time. Who met Jussie Smollett first, and how did you meet him? Who was that, and how did you meet him?
It was Bola Osundario, that met Jussie Smollett first, and I met him through a mutual friend. I was invited to go over to his house. So, despite what people have thought before, I did not meet him on set. Yes, I have worked on Empire set, but I met him at his house in a more personal setting with a mutual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in meeting him, what was that? What was that? Let's call it, for the sake of a better word, friendship, relationship. What was that like? What was your entire friendship and relationship with him like before the alleged incident?
So it was very brotherly. Like, he was like a big older brother to me. we would go out, we'll club, and he'll show love. He'll buy, drinks. Sometimes we'll go out to eat, and then sometimes he'll even play his music for me on the ride home when from set. Some days.
Okay, and then Ola, you weren't privy to any of this at that time when they were building their friendship. Did he ever tell you, "Hey, man, yo, guess who I met? I met Jussie Smollett. He invited me to come on the set." What was the conversations between the two of you when your brother Bola first met Jussie Smollett?
Nah, Bola used to tell me when he first started hanging out with Jesse. I always knew. Then I even went over to Jesse's cribs one or twice myself and hung out with them at the clubs as well. So it was.
Oh, okay, cool. So you guys were kind of friendly. You hung out. You've been in his house. Cause see, once you've been in someone's house, you can might as well, more than once or twice, you're considered a friend, right? Like they trust you enough, especially if it's a celebrity, right? Because celebrities usually are very, very, not trustworthy of letting people come into their personal space because that is their sanctum. That's the one place that they can keep the public out because they live a very public life. Okay, with that being said, then let me know this. What how did or who did he approach first about this idea of an attack? Was it always an attack that he wanted you to do, or where did the concept come from and when did the concept come forward to one of you?
So it was I that he brought the concept, the idea of a fake attack. Let's say
Okay.
fake. You got to add the fake. It was a fake attack.
Okay.
He brought it to me, and it was random. He just said, "Hey, I have something I want to tell you. Let's meet on the low." And I had to go to CineSpace, the place where they film Empire and a few other TV shows in Chicago. I went over there, and then he just brought it out. He said, "Hey, I want you to fake beat me up," and that's all she wrote.
Wait. Okay. Hold on now. Hold on. So he brought you to the set. So basically, he brought you to his job, and he said, "Yo, bro, I got this idea." I mean, did he say, "I got this idea. It's something that I want you to do"? Like, how? I mean, the only reason I'm asking this question is, how do you tell someone, "Hey, I want you to beat me up for fake because I need something"? Like, what was the entire conversation?
So he prefaced it with the incident about him receiving the hate mail. So he had received hate mail from somebody. Allegedly, someone sent him hate mail. We don't know who did. If I can't say he sent it to himself. I don't know, but he got hate mail, and he wasn't happy how the studios, Fox or the
Handling.
studio, was handling it exactly. So
Okay.
he started it with that conversation, and mind you, he was smoking weed. So when he just said it, "I want you to fake beat me up," and I looked at him weird, like
So he wanted you to fake beat him up because he didn't get a response that he was looking for from the network as it relates to this hate mail that he got. I'm just trying to understand, how does somebody sit you down and say, "I want you to fake beat me up" without giving you a logical reason?
why, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked that same question because he didn't say why, and he didn't say, "Oh, I want to increase my fame or my publicity." He didn't say any of that.
Also, it was basically like he wanted you to do something for him. This is what it is, and this is all that he was sharing at that time.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I don't, I guess so. You're smoking, you're enjoying your day. What are you thinking at that time? Are you hesitant? Are you like, "Okay, I'll do it"? Like, what are you thinking at that time when you're sitting there smoking? He's telling you this story,
Yeah.
you're on the set. Like, what's going through your mind?
Yeah.
Were you hesitant at all?
So when he first told me, it was actually we were driving. We were driving towards my house in his vehicle, and yes,
So it wasn't at the studio.
no. So I met him at the studio.
Oh, okay,
At
gotcha.
the studio, and then we started driving towards my house. So yes, of course, I was hesitant initially because I was that's something random. Like no one just says, I want you to fake beat me up, you know. But he did tell me at the time that Kim Kardashian had been, I think she was in France, right? I think
Right.
what happened to her?
Her jewelry was
Yeah,
robbed.
yeah, she got kidnapped or
Yeah,
something.
they said
Some crazy incident happened, and then he had told me that was all set up, that was fake. It was a publicity stunt. So this was what he was telling me, that they do this in Hollywood, and this is just
Oh, okay, I got you.
a part of Hollywood. So I'm like,
Okay, and so he's telling you, okay, I want you to beat me up. Don't think this is weird. Even people like Kim Kardashian do this type of thing.
exactly.
Is that basically what you're sharing with me, right? All right. Well, did you ever consider saying, "No, I'm good," or did you think, "Hey, all right, you need this favor from me. I'll do it because maybe you can help me." I don't understand.
You don't understand why I would do it, or why would I?
No, no, no. I'm just saying. Did you say, "Okay, sure," or did you want more details, or were you hesitant?
Right.
Did you say you had to talk it over with your brother? How did Ola get into this?
So Ola got into it because he was like, Jussie was like, we need one more person. Would your brother do it? I said,
Ah, gotcha.
yeah, and I said, yeah, I believe he would do it. So then as we got to my house, we saw Ola outside, and he was getting
Mhm.
mail or throwing away garbage. So it was like perfect timing. And then I told Ola to hop into the car, and then Jussie asked him, could he trust him? And then um, that's all she wrote.
Okay, so all right, so we've gone through how you met him. We've gone through him asking you to kind of participate in this hoax. Now we're getting into the hoax. So Ola, you're in the car now. Bola, you're in the car. Jesse's in the car. What does he say to you? Does he give you details? Does he tell you how he wanted to be attacked? Does he tell you that it's going to be staged? Does he tell you what details does he give you as he asks you, can he trust you?
So pretty much everything that went down was produced and directed by Jesse himself. How he wanted us to beat him up, how he wanted the rope, he wanted the bleach poured on him, where it was gonna happen, what time it was gonna happen. He let us know all of that, and
Now I
we even did
okay,
we even did a whole rehearsal and walkthrough. I think was it the day before?
not a rehearsal and a walkthrough.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. That's what he called it. He said we're gonna do a rehearsal.
Now wait a minute. I thought the court document said that he wanted you to throw gasoline on him.
Yes, he wanted us to throw gasoline, but Ola didn't. He didn't feel comfortable with that, so he said,
So wait a minute. Ola decided to change the prop.
he said, yeah, yeah. And also, just so you know, it wasn't just a rope or any type of rope. It was a noose specifically that he wanted.
Okay, and how do you know how to tie a noose? Where do you get a noose
We
from?
don't.
We don't know how to tie it. However, we got it from Crafty Beaver, a store that sells hardware supplies, and
Mhm.
it was a closed
Clothesline.
line, yeah, and it's already like in that type of shape, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's already in
Yeah,
that shape, and all you have to do is pull a little rope out, and it looked just like a noose. It was
yeah,
great.
Oh, so no wonder when the police showed up, it wasn't really a noose because it wasn't really tied like a noose, but it looked
No, no,
similar
no,
to a
no. You don't
noose.
understand. So Jesse, the way it was on Jesse in those videos, that's not the way it was put on him.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
Okay, how are you?
he remixed the whole thing. But the way I put it, it was literally just a little. It looked just like a noose, a little circle with the bundle at the bottom, and I just put that little circle around his face. But once you see in the police videos, he has the rope all tight around him and that. Like, bro, I didn't do that to you, bro.
yeah. He did not do
I did not
that.
do that to you.
And if you
I'm done.
remember, if you remember, he still had the new song when the police
Right.
came, and a lot of people find that weird and awkward, and for good reason.
Well, let me ask you this. I can understand now. I'm open minded. I'm trying to be open minded about this, right? I think I've said this to you guys offline, so this is nothing new. I can understand if a very famous actor came up to me that I was a friend and said to me, "Hey, we need to fake an attack on me." Right? I can see that. I actually can see that because like you're thinking, what do I have to lose? I'm just faking an attack. It's nothing going to happen. You know, did you? So the question becomes, did you know that he was going to then report it to the police? Were you guys being filmed? This is a part where I get confused. Did you know that you were going to be filmed? Did you know that it was going to be reported to the police? And then, like, what details did you know at the time when you agreed to say yes to the attack?
So all we knew was that it was going to be put on social media, and that's was the extent of it.
Got it.
Yeah, and he mentioned so during our rehearsal, he drove us to the area where he wanted the fake attack to occur, and he pointed out a camera that was by the stairs, and
Okay.
it was supposed to capture the fake attack. However, what
I
we
think it
come to
was,
find out that
yeah.
the camera was not even facing there at all. So he was
Hmm.
going to maybe get the footage and give it to TMZ or give it to whatever blog he wanted to give it to.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So he was going to use that as
The
that's how he was
evidence
going to use
and
it. Real. Got
not
it.
only
So,
that, not only that, because I believe he was on the phone with somebody, a manager or something that was supposed to clock that he was getting attacked, and he did corroborate it. The manager on the
oh, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
And he was going to call the police. Well, let me ask you this: did you know that it would create? Did you know that this was going to go down as a hate crime? Did you say, did he say that I'm going to use this to portray? I'm going to pretend like you guys are white guys, and I am going to portray this as a MAGA situation and as a hate crime because you had MAGA hats on, or you were supposed to. What happened to that concept that you were supposed to have MAGA hats on, and how did you end up not having MAGA hats on?
So we did have red hats. We couldn't find any MAGA hats. We live in Chicago, one of the most liberal cities, democratic cities. So ain't nobody selling MAGA hats for real in Chicago. So
Were you supposed to have a MAGA hat on?
we're supposed to get a red hat, right?
He wanted us to have MAGA hats. Yeah, he would have
Yeah.
preferred that.
So tell me exactly what had to be a part of the hoax. A MAGA hat. He wanted a noose.
Yeah, he wanted
What
to
else did he want?
bleach. He wanted us to pretend we were white racists,
Okay.
much,
And
and
then
that we were Trump supporters.
yeah, Trump supporters, MAGA hat, obviously. And he wanted us to hurl these statements, these racist, homophobic statements.
Wow. So this was like a script, really. Like he really did have it. Like,
That's exactly how
oh,
we took it as. And we're actors. We were professional actors before meeting him. So it was a script for us. It was acting. And that's how it
right.
made it out to be.
And I wanted to share this with the viewers and everybody. You guys had agents.
Yes,
You guys, this wasn't the first. This wasn't the first show that you were on. You've been on a couple of television shows, even local stuff. So,
correct.
and you had agents. So this wasn't like you met this guy. This guy liked you, and he turned you. You know, he put you on. You actually were working on the set through your agency, and by working on the set, you met Jussie, right?
Not by working on the set. No, it was through a mutual friend. That
Oh, through a mutual friend. But you had been working on the set before you
yes,
met him through the mutual
exactly. And
friend.
a mutual friend is not
Okay.
an actor at all. He has no business in entertainment. So
Okay.
yeah.
So did you ever think it was going to turn into something so huge like this? Did you know it was going to turn into like one of the biggest, what would be considered, if it was true, one of the biggest hate crimes in the 21st century?
No idea. You couldn't tell me this, and
I thought it was gonna be something that was gonna be on the blogs for a little bit and be over with.
5 years later, we're still here. It's in the Illinois Supreme Court.
I know that's like scary though. I mean, that still doesn't make any sense to me. So during the attack of that night, because I want to go back to the attack, did you? What were your thoughts as things started to unfold? Because as we understand, it was one of the coldest day in history in Chicago. The day before, you guys had gone through a drive-through of how and what was supposed to go down. Like, what was going through your minds during the day of the attack and as it was unfolding? Did everything happen the way it was supposed to? Did you show up on time? We know Ola decided he didn't want to carry gasoline, so he decided to carry bleach. How did you carry bleach? How did you get there? Give us some details on how this all unfolded.
So it was very last minute because it was originally supposed to happen at 10 p.m. at night, but Jesse's flight kept getting delayed. So
Ah,
he would let us know exactly when he would want it to be. So whenever he got his flight, I think it was like an hour later or some whatever the exact time that we moved the fake attack to was 12, right?
2 a.m. It
Or
happened at
2
2
a.m. I'm
a.m.
sorry, 2 a.m. So leaving the house, we were very rushed. So I put the bleach because I didn't even think it was gonna happen anymore. So I ended up putting the bleach in a hot sauce bottle.
I can't.
I put the bleach in a,
When I read that, when I heard that, I was like,
that,
who puts bleach
that
in a hot sauce bottle
that's all.
and takes it to an attack? That doesn't even make any sense to me, Ola.
That's all I had. That's the only container I had. So, and we had to move fast because we didn't want to miss the 2 a.m. Deadline. So
The meeting point. So let me ask you this. Did he offer money for you to do all this? How did he give you money to buy the stuff? What was the compensation for this fake hoax or this fake attack?
So he did give us money to buy the materials. I believe it was $100 bill for the materials, and the compensation for the attack was $3,500. And the $3,500, we didn't need the 3,500. Like, we didn't need to get paid for this to take place. And
Right.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why. My brother and I are professional actors. Acting is a very it's who you know. It's who can connect you to the right people type of
Right.
industry. So
Mhm.
if we rub your back, you'll rub our back. You'll look out for us. And that's what we were
Right.
thinking. So it wasn't about the money. People are wondering why we didn't ask for more money. One, he's a friend. He was a friend, like a brother to me at that time.
Right.
So I'm not gonna say,
Right.
hey, give me 50,000. It wasn't about the money at that
Right.
point in time. And
So let me ask you.
and he promised us $500 more when we got back. We're still yet to receive our $500.
You want your money now?
Yes, sir. We need that.
So let me ask you this. Did you ever think, okay, I'm going to attack this guy on a Chicago street? What if somebody saw you? What if someone actually saw you and called the police and the police showed up on the scene of this fake hoax? Did y'all think about that?
No, we didn't have time to think about it because it happened so quick from the day he told me he wanted it done to us doing a rehearsal to us buying the
it
material
was
to
like
us
2 days.
performing the actual fake attack. It was so quick. It happened so quick. We didn't have, and Jussie wanted it before we left to Nigeria because we were going to Nigeria, I believe, January 29th, like that day, or the
The same
30th,
day. It
the
was the
same
same
day.
day. The
Yeah.
same day the attack happened that we went to
You
Nigeria.
guys were going to Nigeria.
Yeah.
So you did the attack. You did the attack. You're like, okay, I did the attack. Everything went off without a hitch. You beat the boy up. Then you went home. Then you packed or grabbed your bags. You went to the airport and you flew to Nigeria. So at what point did you learn that that he was being exposed or that it had reached like national television exposure?
I learned, I believe, that day when it happened, when we were traveling. A friend had texted me and sent me an article or a screenshot of an article and said, "Ain't this your homie?" Because he know I met him. I bring him to one of the clubs he bounced at. So that's when I knew.
You knew that what he had reported it to the police, and the police was now
Mm-mm.
making it.
No, that it was in the headlines.
Oh, that it was in the
That he
headlines.
Yeah.
had been attacked.
But when it was in the headlines, it didn't say anything about the African brothers. When it was in the headlines, it was he was attacked by two MAGA people. Correct?
I'm not sure because I only saw the screenshot of the
What
article,
he
like
sent
the
you.
headlines. Exactly. I didn't go into it. We were too busy getting ready to leave for our trip.
Okay, and what was your response to it? What was your reaction to it when you initially found out about the headlines?
To my friend or just in general?
No, just in
In
general, the two of
general,
you.
shit. Job well done, buddy.
Go, wow, really?
Yeah,
So you're like, okay, mission accomplished. This is what he wanted.
yeah,
This is fine.
yeah.
Okay. So, all right, you got on the plane off to you like, okay, we did a good job. You basically like, okay, so I looked out for him. He clearly is going to owe us one.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's gonna look out for us, obviously. But like I said, he's a brother. He was a brother, so we do favors for brothers. That's what happens.
Okay, so when did you realize that this hoax turned into a Holocaust? Like, did you not like when did you know that Jussie was now doing a national radio tour or a national media tour saying all these bad things had happened, and it wasn't just on social media, but now it was on national television. Now it was an international story.
So I pretty much got a little worried when I saw that the police got involved. That's when, yeah,
Hmm.
that's when I started to worry a little bit. Like, okay, police were never supposed to be involved. What's going on? And yeah, that's
This was while you were in Africa.
yes.
Okay, and did anybody call you? Did you like anybody let you know, hey guys, this went a little too far? Did the manager that he was coordinate this with, did anybody call you to let you know that things have gotten a little bit out of hand?
No, not at all. Nobody called us. No, he wasn't supposed
So no one called you. So you think everything's fine. You know you're not feeling comfortable. However, you think everything's fine. So I'm confused. What happened? Like you land from your vacation and you get arrested? Is that when you figured out that everything wasn't fine?
to. No, so I had a general feeling, I had an intuition that the police knew who it was because it was in Nigeria where we figured out that they had these two dark suspects. What I mean by dark suspects was the picture was dark. They didn't know if the people were white or black, but these persons or people of interest, they knew it was us. I believe that they did. And they weren't giving that information so that we would come back. They probably thought that if they said, yeah, it was these African,
They
Nigerian,
knew where we were at.
yeah, they knew where we were at. So that's why they met us at the airport.
But why would they ever think it was you two? Of all the people in Chicago, why would they ever put it on YouTube? Why would they ever know that it was you two unless he told them? I don't understand. Why did you think they knew it was you?
I thought they knew it was us because they weren't giving the full information. They were just saying, hey, until further investigation, we don't know who these people are. And I knew, I just had that feeling. But Jussie never told them it was us. The police figured out it was us by doing their investigative work, by we took a taxi, and a taxi dropped us off somewhere, and then they used cameras from there to track us to our house. So that's why if you do crime now, they could catch you if they want. If they really want to catch you, they can. Because they even went to neighbors' ring
Ring
cameras. They
cameras and
asked the neighbors
everything.
for their ring cameras
It
and
was
all that.
extensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, this is getting really interesting now. Okay, so how long from the day that you left and the incident happened did you start to get this feeling? How many days were you gone? Did you start to get this feeling that they were on to you?
So, like I said, we were in Nigeria, and we were only in Nigeria for 2 weeks, from like February 1st or January 29th to February
13th or something.
13th, 12th, or something like that. And it was around the time when Ola told me that he saw it on Twitter that some Rudy Gugliani, somebody in the police, was talking about. Yeah, so it was. We were in Nigeria for 14 days approximately, and Ola had told me that there were persons of interest, and I just had the feeling. I don't know how long into the trip it was, but I remember him telling me that, and I'm thinking. I even told him that, "Hey, man, I think they know it's us."
Yeah, and
That's interesting because they were on top of this, right? And it was so funny because it was like a media frenzy around this whole incident, and all the elements of it were just not what was needed at that time in America, right? This was before COVID started. This was after the Trump and the George Floyd thing. It was after the Black Lives Matter, during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. Like it just was just insane. So let me ask you this. What was the most when you came back to the United States and you landed, you didn't know that you were going to be met with the cops. How did that happen?
Just a point of correction. It was before the George Floyd, because I think George Floyd happened during COVID, and this was 2019.
Right, but this was the build up to it, right? So we're talking about I meant to say the build up
Okay.
where the sentiment of America was not positive, right?
Yeah.
We were under Donald Trump. There were a lot of racist killings that were going on. Men of color were being attacked on a regular basis. We were at the beginning stages of the Black Lives Matter movement. It was just everything that was going on. That's why I think he put it all into this hoax. He put in a noose to symbolize racism and lynching. He put in MAGA hats to symbolize racism and the current climate in which the political system was in, right? He put in also two people slurring or saying homophobic slurs. So he was like trying to combine everything that was negative that was going on in the underbelly of the US and making him, if you will, the victim of all of those things, the victim of homophobic slurs, the victim of, the Donald Trump administration, the victim of racism. In my mind, that's kind of how I saw it. So, what was it like when you got off the plane? Take me to the time when you got off the plane and you got arrested. Like, how did you know it was going to happen? Were you have any inkling? And what did they say when they arrested you?
so when we got off the plane, it was customs that stopped us first. Customs was checking everybody's passports as we got off the plane, and I thought like, okay, this is something different, and this never happened before. And when first of all, my brother and I weren't together. We were seated in separate rows at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got off the plane at different times. So I don't know who got off first, but when I got off, customs saw my passport, took me to the side, got my bags, went through my bags, then they let me go. Like everything was cool. Two steps away later, Chicago police grabbed me up.
No way.
Chicago police grab me up, take me to this little room like they're about to whoop me. Uh, but nah, they didn't touch me. They just asked me to unlock my phone. I unlocked my phone, gave it to them. They read me my rights, told me if I wanted to talk to them. I said no. I like a lawyer, which everybody should always do. Ask for a lawyer. Don't ever talk to the police. And yeah, they took me to 51st and Wentworth here in Chicago.
So when they arrested you, did you have a feeling that you knew what it was for?
Oh, of course. Of course.
And what did they say they were arresting you for?
They never told us. They never told us until my lawyer got there. That I had no idea. I knew, but they never said it with their own mouths what we're in there for.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, and then how did it happen for you, Bola?
I had a very, very similar experience to Ola, where the custom agents, they were checking everyone's passport that were leaving the plane, and they've never done that. I've never seen that before, so I was a little nervous when they were doing that. But they saw my passport, pulled me to the side. They let me go get my bag. Then they checked my bag, and I didn't have no contraband because I'm a upstanding citizen. So they let me go. And then that's when the police came out of nowhere, like, are you so and so? I'm like, yes, I am. And they said, come with us. I'm like, damn, okay. And like Ola, they asked for my phone, but I didn't want to unlock my phone. I was like, no, I'm not unlocking my phone. Why do I gotta unlock my phone for? Because they didn't tell me why they were apprehending me. They just said, hey, you got to follow us. And then they eventually took me to the headquarters, the 51st and Wentworth police station.
All right.
At this time, I
So
didn't
now
see Ola. I didn't know where Ola was. And
you weren't
yeah.
able to see him. They separated you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's at this point that your life has changed forever. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes.
From that point on, your life has changed forever. So, what was that like? Like, what was that like? The first couple of hours of being arrested, did you see any of the headlines? Did you know anything about the headlines, or were you still in the dark about what is really going on?
We were literally in the dark about everything. We did not know. We didn't even know what time of the day it was. I was in there, felt like forever. But they
Wow.
said we were in there for 47 hours.
Nah, I
But
had no clue. I had
yeah,
no clue what time it
if it was
was.
morning, day, night, and mind you, until our lawyer came there, they did not tell us about anything. They didn't say what we were there for, nothing. Because
Right.
they said, "Do you want to talk?" I'm like, "Talk about what?" You call my lawyer.
They didn't ask you. Did they show you? Did they tell you that you had been arrested for beating up Jussie Smollett, for attacking Jussie Smollett? Like, what were they saying in those 40? They have to say something to you in 47 hours.
Well, until our lawyer got there, that's when our lawyer told us about what was going
Yeah, our
on.
lawyer got there probably a day later. We were probably in there for a day before our lawyer got there.
Yeah.
So tell me this story because I remember this. I tell everybody all the time. I actually worked on the documentary, the 5-part documentary. I was a commentator on it. I met their lawyer. I had to read all their documents. I found this story to be so fascinating. I want you to share with the viewers, how did you get to your lawyer, Gloria, who actually ended up helping you get out of this case? How did you guys actually get to her as a lawyer?
So it was through my mother, my beautiful, wonderful, dear mother. She had met Gloria. She had given Gloria a ride, I believe, a year before or sometime before, 6 months before, whatever the time was. And all of a sudden, we needed a lawyer. So my mom thought to the person that she had met earlier, and she had given my oldest brother, Larry, her Gloria's number. My mom was trying to actually call Gloria late that night. So it was, I don't know, I don't know if it was late at night in Nigeria or late at night here. Nigeria is 6 hours ahead of us. So anyway, Gloria was getting phone calls from this random number. She thought it was a scam, like it was some Nigerian prince trying to scam her. So that happened, and eventually Gloria came to the rescue.
All right, so when she came to the rescue, she got you guys out. She explained to you what happened. Your life has changed. Now you're in the middle of a media firestorm. What was that like?
It was disheartening, I can say that. And why do I say that? I say that because we weren't able to defend ourselves at all. We were told and instructed not to say anything because the case was going through, it was being tried in court, or they wanted to try it in court. So we couldn't say anything, we couldn't defend ourselves. A lot of people were saying all different types of lies.
especially with
And
all the fake
Yeah.
news going
there's a
on.
lot of fake news, and we would see it and we'll be like, wow, they're really saying this, and we can't say nothing
Right.
about it.
Beautiful.
Give me an example, because the reason why I say this and the reason why I can relate to it is because I just went through something similar to that. Not what you guys did, like with police or anything, but in a legal situation, in a job situation, that then because of all the lies that were going on and because it was becoming legal, I couldn't say anything.
Mhm.
I couldn't defend myself. I couldn't say that they were lying. I couldn't give proof because your lawyers simply say to you, listen, as it relates to your legal the process, you can't talk about it. Is that the same thing that happened to you?
Yes, exactly. So there was a time they said both my brother and I were homophobic. They said we hate gay people, that we said F gay people, that we can never work with them. They actually used the F word, and the
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
under
Hmm.
sticks. Yes, they used that word, and we couldn't defend ourselves. It was disheartening. It was messed up.
So is that the most difficult part? The most difficult part is like you have to sit here and listen to everybody write your narrative about how and why you did it when you actually were just carrying out something that you had practiced and was told to do.
Exactly.
So how did your relationship with Jussie change? Did you ever reach out to him and say, "Yo, bro, I'm out here. Yo, you got me out here looking crazy." Did you text him after you got out of prison? Did you try to call him, or did they tell you you couldn't call him? How did your relationship with Jussie change now that you saw that he had you out here actually being charged for a crime that he actually created?
Yeah. So we never talked after the incident happened. He
Did you
he
try?
no, never. I never tried to get in contact with him. I don't think he did.
No.
Why would you not try to find out why someone who set you up in such a huge way and now you are known internationally as these two African brothers who are bad? Why would you never reach out to the person who set the hoax up and say, "Yo, dude, what's up?"
Because it's legal now, and I don't want anything to come back and implicate me or get me in trouble or my brother. So it was a lot of stuff going on. You didn't know
And
who to
plus,
trust at the time.
we were advised to by our lawyers not to reach out to them.
Okay, I mean, I guess that's true, and you really can't because you don't know the level. I can imagine how aggressive it was. Did you anticipate this level of media attention and controversy? It wasn't just the attention, it was the controversy. Did you guys ever anticipate this at this level?
Couldn't imagine it.
Yeah.
It was new. It was something new. I never seen this happen in my lifetime. I'm 33 years old. This is the first time anything like this I've witnessed anything like this. So no, I couldn't.
And how does that feel if you're looking back on it now? How do you feel about your involvement in this hoax?
We handled it pretty well.
Would you do it again?
I would. I would do it again because it has made me who I am today. I'll be a totally different person if I didn't do it. So I would not change it. I like who I am today.
Well, how are you today that you were different than before the hoax?
Oh, it put us through a lot of pressure. And you said, and you know what they say, pressure makes diamonds. And look at him. Doesn't he look like a diamond? He's very beautiful. No, but it gave us a lot of challenges. And with challenges, when you overcome them, you become stronger, you become smarter and wiser. Will we do things differently? Will we do something like that again? If we go back, we will we do something like that now? No.
Got it. But then then it was like it made sense, right? It
Yeah,
was no big deal.
exactly.
It was like you were doing a skit, but this skit turned into like a national, like racial, like
Plenty.
intent,
Yeah, it's crazy.
like crime. Like who could have ever thought? Okay, I can get with that. So let me ask you this: what was the legal process like? Because I had to read because of you guys hours on hours on hours on hours worth of legal documents. What was that process like? Because a lot of people felt that you guys didn't take it as serious because I think one court hearing, like one time in court, Bola, you showed up dressed like a Black Panther or something. Like, what was that legal process like? Why were you making fun of the process? Was it in your mind like? Because I can imagine, how do you separate the seriousness from how it started? So, like when I saw you, when I had to sit in the room and go through all of you guys' stuff, and I saw how you were showing up to court, I really felt like in my head, you were like, okay, so now I'm gonna take advantage of this. I can't change it. I'm gonna take advantage of it. What was going through your mind when you were showing up in court dressing like a Black Panther?
So I'm a stylistic person, and like you said, we're here now, so you got to make the best of every situation you find yourself in, no matter what it is. I didn't want it to get to this or to that at that time. However, since we're here, let's go. I was just inspired. Maybe I just watched the Black Panther movie.
Yeah, I bet you were. So tell me this. Okay, so did you have good legal representation? Do you guys think that Gloria was a good lawyer?
Mutubelo, she was wonderful. She was very good.
Yeah, I really liked her. I really enjoyed her.
Gloria knows her stuff,
Yeah.
and you can't. She's a trailblazer.
Yeah.
She gets what she wants.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, well, let me ask you this. We heard through and reading through the court documents that you've gotten a few threats and harassments. Is that true?
of course. We still get.
And what was that like? What was that like? Like, because it seems like you guys just kind of let it roll off your back. But threats and harassment are really serious. What was that like?
So when we first got them, I haven't gotten threats like that before, like where people say you need to die or we'll kill you with a certain type of gun. I've never gotten that, but over time we kind of got not desensitized, but it lessened the blow. It lessened these people just talking, you know.
The effects of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Although you don't look like you take kindly to threats. Like, how did you manage it?
It was fine with me. I wasn't worried. I wasn't.
There was no point that any of you were worried because a lot of the MAGA people actually came after you guys,
Maggie
right?
left
Because
us.
Well, initially, yes, they did.
yeah, initially,
Initially, they did. However, there's people that support us on all aspects or along the spectrum of the political spectrum. But
hmm
MAGA people definitely do support us more than the liberal side now because we came
okay,
and said the truth.
because you came out. Okay, got it. So, do you believe before the trials, do you believe that you were portrayed unfairly or fairly by the media?
Definitely unfairly. What would
Why?
The Nigerian brothers. That's
Well, you are Nigerian, aren't you?
we were born here
But
though.
that's not what they meant, though. What they
Yeah.
meant was these off the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they meant. They ain't mean like just Nigerian by blood. They meant like
Right.
these foreigners. That's how they were painting us.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a second thought about was it worth it? Do you sit at home sometimes and think, was this all worth it?
No, I don't sit at home thinking that. Sometimes at the library I do, but not at home.
You go to the library?
Actually, I use an app called Libby. It has books on it that you can borrow. But
Oh God, Jesus. Okay. So no regrets ever. So what, like when you were in court and he was trying to make this all like a hoax, like on your part that you did it and that you should be charged with the crime. You never was like once saying to yourself, if I could get my hands on this guy, if I could get my hands around his neck, like how dare he try to make me go down for all of this?
yeah, of course, I felt that way, especially with him saying that him and I were in a intimate relationship, trying to spin that and have
Right.
people think about that. That was disgusting, and that was pretty down low what he did.
Yeah, that's something that I thought was very interesting too.
Yeah.
So would that be the one part of the story that you would want retold correctly?
Yeah, of course, definitely, because a lot of people have the perception that him and I were doing something together, or not just him and I. My brother, him and I were doing stuff together. They really believe that. They're like, nah. The thing in this world, the thought in this world, in our society, is that if straight man hangs out with a gay man, the straight man is gay. They're doing stuff together.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
not always the case, you know. I mean, it wasn't the
So you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because that is really a part in which I want to say certain communities took that and ran with it. Like people like really believed it. And I got to be honest, at one point I did too, until I actually had the opportunity to actually sit down and interview you guys, talk to you guys, and then go through the court documents. I did it too once, think that. Tell me though, you're Nigerian. In Nigeria, it's not looked upon, in a positive way to be gay or to be homosexual. So did you have to contend with any of that with your Nigerian family or just with Nigerians in general that may have sent you inbox messages or DMs?
definitely. It's a crime to perform homosexual activities or acts in Nigeria, and definitely we had to talk to our parents, talk to our family about that, and friends, of course.
So
A
they
lot of people,
definitely asked.
yeah, they definitely.
No, but you know what? It's so funny. It's funny because if you think about it, you guys were like doing illegal shit across the board.
Yeah,
Like really, like if it was all true, right? Number one, you beat up this guy. It wasn't an act like he claimed it. He claimed that you guys actually beat him up, that, it wasn't an act. You guys actually planned all of this, which is a crime. And then also just in your home where your family's from, it's a crime to even be, thought of as homosexual. So you guys were just criminals all across the board to certain people. No?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they try to paint us as.
Wow. That's a lot. So let me ask you this. What about the hoax? And I want you to think about this, right? What's one part of the story that hasn't been told, right? From what you think people need to hear. What part of the story, besides just the sex part, what other part of the story do you think has not been told that you want people to know? And is there anything you want to reveal that hasn't come out yet?
Yes. So
We
a
don't think.
part that
Okay.
hasn't been told, that needs to be told, that people need to keep an eye on. And we do have a book that is coming out that does speak more about it. Who was really behind the Jussie Smollett scandal? Who put Jussie up to it?
Mm.
What hasn't been told?
Mm. So wait a minute. It's now the night's getting juicy. So you're saying, or you are inferring that you think it wasn't his brainchild.
No, absolutely
at
not.
all.
No. He was just an actor like we were. He was just more of a series regular while we're just a day player.
Hmm. This is a revelation right here in the court of public opinion. So this concept, then, let me just ask this. This concept where people are saying, okay, um, maybe he smoked too much ganja. Maybe he was drinking too much. Maybe, because he did go to rehab. Maybe it had got fogged his thought and his logical thinking, and that's why he put all these noose and gasoline and attacked by MAGA people. You're actually inferring that he too was following instructions.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Precisely.
Hmm.
We don't have proof, but we do have a lot of dots.
So what makes you think this though? Because this is why would he just say that?
Because the people that
About
put him up to it. You don't want problems with them people.
he don't want problems with the people that made him do
You
it.
don't want problems with them people.
Interesting. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's talk about going forward. I really do appreciate you all sharing and being very open and honest about this. Because I can imagine after 5 years, you've got to be tired of talking about it. But he is the reason why we're back at this again. He just really will not let this go away. Now, let me ask you this. And I know we touched on it earlier, but I want to come back to it for just 1 second. Has your involvement in this hoax, like, how has it really affected your professional and your personal lives that you would like to share?
So it really did put a little stop to our acting careers. My brother and I, we were on the up and up when it came to professional acting. My brother he just signed with the top agent in Chicago. I just filmed a guest star role in a show here in Chicago, and he did as well. So we were on our ways, and once this happened, all of that just completely stopped because of all the craziness that was going on. And that we,
I can imagine.
yeah, maggots.
And then also probably the fact that he won't let it go. You can't turn the page and move forward. So you're still kind of like in this holding pattern because the more he talks about it, the more he brings up the memories of your guys' participation, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So what's next? Because obviously you can't turn the page right now. What's next for the two of you?
Um, hey, Al, can I add something to one of the questions you asked before? Could
Sure.
you like cut it up or something, whatever the case is?
Hey, Ola shared with us about how his career was affected. Bola, what did you want to share about how this all affected you?
So his lawyer, one of his lawyers, Tina Glandian, she had said something to the effect of we probably wore white.
Can you bring them to the main stage, please? He says a confession. He needs to be on the main stage. Thanks. Okay, go ahead. Start over. Three, two, one.
Yeah, so this affected me what affected me was when Tina Glandian, one of Jussie Smollett's lawyers, had said that it was possible that I or my brother had wore whiteface. And something like that is crazy, given the history of blackface in America, that I might have wore whiteface to attack Jussie. She said that on in I think Good Morning, not Good Morning America, but in some type of media, she has said that, and that greatly affected me because people were asking questions about that, like, "Damn, you would do something like that? You would wear?"
Right. They felt like you would stoop that low for fame,
Yeah,
that you would white makeup on your face just to do
to
this.
do this exactly. And
Wow.
yeah,
I can imagine.
yeah.
So, what's next for you, Bola?
What's nice for me, so I'm going to continue boxing professionally. I'm doing very well with only 6, 7 fights. I was ranked number 2 or 3 in the U.S., number 20 or number 40 in the world, and that's unheard of. I'm still on that Dallas team, the Dallas Enforcers. So I'm doing the
Mhm.
Team Combat League, the team sport, and it's going very well. So you guys should definitely check me out. Uh,
How can they find you on social media?
so you can find me on Team Able, and that's Team underscore ABEL on Instagram, and Team Able on Facebook as well.
All right, and you, Bola, you, Ola,
You can find me on IG at King Ola the Prince.
is it King underscore Ola underscore Prince?
The Prince, correct.
Okay, and are you guys giving up acting? Because you were on a upward trajectory. Is that something that you putting on the back burner now? You're kind of refocusing, or is it still a part of your vision and your goals in life?
Oh, of course, acting has always and will always be a part of our vision and goals. And we're still working towards it, talking to different agents and managers. And LA's the move. We'll be out in LA shortly, soon, definitely.
All right, guys. All right, last question. Do you have anything that you want to share or advice or anything that you want to say to Jussie Smollett?
At this point where we're at, I will tell Jesse to keep going. He's too deep in. He's too deep in. Keep going and see where it takes you. Maybe after the second time he lied, I would have told him like, bro, just give it up. People will forgive you at this point. Like people are gonna forget and they'll forgive you, and you can get on with your life. But as where we're at right now, keep going, bro. Good luck.
You do know by him keep going will make you a victim of a criminal crime. You will be the suspect of a crime, correct?
No, because the stuff in court's already over with. You feel me? So, and nobody believes him anyway. So,
Yeah, in the court of public opinion.
Well, that's a court of public opinion, but if you're telling him to keep going, to keep fighting it so that he will not be charged with a felony, they have to charge someone with the felony.
no,
So if they believe him, he's saying that you guys are the ones that committed this crime. So maybe you don't want to tell him to keep going, but okay, Bola, what advice would you, or what was something that you would like to tell Jussie Smollett?
So I would tell him the opposite of what my brother would tell him. I would tell him the truth shall set you free. Just come out and say the truth. Be truthful, not your truth, the truth. Be truthful about the situation so that you can heal, your family can heal, and the people that love you are still gonna love you. They're not gonna not love you, and if they don't love you anymore, that means they never really did.
Last question. Could you guys be friends with Jussie Smollett again?
Yeah, I can always be friends with anybody. He was a brother, and I still consider him a brother.
Ola?
yeah, same as my brother said.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for the night.
Thank
Uh, all right, everybody. That's going to conclude our night here in the Court of Public Opinion. We want to thank the Osundario brothers for being open and honest with us. And we're going to get to your questions or we're going to get to your verdict. So, where do they stand in the eyes of the public opinion? Are they being honest? Are they not being honest? Are they guilty or not guilty for participating in this hoax in a good way or a bad? Stay tuned for more details right here.